quick update. I think these next couple updates are going to be quick and fast. I'm just going to keep landing on this system or this planet until I get the pilgrim, the religious aliens to like me. So expect scattershot updates. I've managed to wrangle my morale into medium morale. We're no longer at low morale, very low morale, for the first time since the first time I landed on Matchstick. It's, with gritted teeth, I climb from the pit to the sun. Events progress into pace. I'm getting lots of discoveries. I'm exploring this planet. I'm learning more and more about our alien friends and just the ecology of this planet. It's kind of lovely. My friend Terry Isaac, I brought down to this mission. He's level 2. He's been tearing it up. He's been finding strange floral discoveries. He's been finding microbiological discoveries. He's been assisting everybody. He's been really good. And he has just achieved his personal objective. So I'm going to go and find out what that means. Turns out it means his little log entry says everybody on the ship is coming to him for advice. He's becoming a big brother or a wise grandfather to the crew. He feels like he has more connections than he ever did on Earth, and that he's talking to the command staff of the ship to have his position as an advisor solidified. So just a nice guy, just putting down roots, connecting with everybody on the ship. Listen, I don't know. I probably did think it was funny enough to put it in. I made a bunch of little skits with Terry. The fact that the game's, like the personnel files in this game are supporting that. He's becoming a little social climber. He's building a little in crowd with the crew. He's become the worm tongue to all of the science staff. I think it's just delightful. Let's find out what he looks like when he's leveled up. Hey Terry, what do you look like now that you've achieved position as a official advisor to everybody on the ship? Holy crap! He's become a Cyberman. Kind of horrifying, actually. I guess becoming an advisor necessitated you replacing most of your skull? It's a lot of power you're holding in one hand. All right. Good job, Terry. Holy smokes. Zamia, I've got her holed up in this uncovered bulbs area, and she's just rolling science and DNA every single round and getting nothing. She's collecting plants like crazy. I have like 4 or 5 plant discoveries, and it hasn't been that long. She's almost filled the entire ship with tulips. She's a queen. My goodness, she's getting things done. She's exhausted, but I don't blame her. I've had her dig up the entire rose garden. Everyone else is doing pretty okay. They're exploring this forest that's definitely not going to kill them. And there's a pilgrim there who's definitely not getting angry at them. And I definitely didn't just put a mining probe here, and that's definitely not pissing everybody off. And I'm definitely not desecrating any graves over here. I gave them orders. We're on a diplomatic mission, and maybe only Zamia is following it by collecting some pretty flowers. Everyone else is treading on sacred ground. Perhaps pretty... Listen, I sent them orders. They're not going to screw it up. Right? Right, guys? Right, Terry, you're not going to screw it up? Vedaz? Also, Terry and Vedaz have been working together so well. They've been aiding each other in all kinds of tests and just knocking it right out of the park. Oh, also, I've got 12 supplies. This place where she keeps harvesting bulbs keeps giving me an extra supply. I'm laughing in this mission. Absolutely laughing. First contact continues. I explore creepy trees. Creepy trees are creepy. I leave. No need to get dangerous in the creepy tree zone. I find holy relics. I look at them politely. Do I roll all the dice? No. No need to get testy in the religious zone. I find abandoned spaceship. Really tempting to climb an abandoned spaceship, but I say no. No, Zach, we will not go in the abandoned spaceship. These aliens have been nice, and they seem to want their solitude. There's this creepy pilgrim wandering around, threatening me with... I mean, I mostly avoided them. I know they get angry, so I've been very careful. I'm not going in their spaceship. I want to go in their spaceship. There might be cool stuff in there, but I don't need to. I've filled my spaceship with... I've found, I think, more strange flora discoveries than I can actually fit in my ship, so I'm going to have to choose which ones I take and which ones I leave. My crew are all pretty good. Zamia has been a trooper. Not only has she filled the entire ship all by herself, like I've had everyone else just sort of wandering around the deserts, and I've been trying to stop them from climbing into strange alien spaceships or ruining religious relics. But Zamia's just been at the very start of this whole map, just digging up plants the entire time, filling my spaceship, filling up my supply track. She's been the best. She's been exhausted, which makes sense. I've had her just digging in the dirt all day. Also, this planet has 2 suns, and it has been noon for most of this time. She's boiling alive. So she's also been wounded because there was a hurricane swept through, and it threatened to knock all of my leads. Leads are these little tokens you put on the discovery decks, but it's threatened to get rid of them all. But I could save all my leads if I had someone roll 1 injury dice, or 1 wound dice, for every lead that they want to save. So I had Zamia roll so many dice. It's so lucky that she didn't die. But she's just got wounded out of it, and that's fine. Right now I'm heading to the shuttle, and we're going to leave. There's only one thing left on this planet to check out. That's the abandoned city. I didn't want to go to the abandoned city because all the text boxes here made it sort of seem like going to the abandoned city was going to be sort of pestering these aliens, trying to make them do what I want them to do. And I don't want to pester them, but I've swum to the bottom of the ocean. I've explored the entire desert, and I've managed to avoid pissing all of these aliens off. The mission is not over yet. So we go to their holy city, and we hope that we can continue this trend of being good boys and girls. I'll check in with you later. Things continue to go well. People are leveling up, ranking up. No crew have died. Just the one person went to the hospital wing. We're going back to Endemia. We're looting this planet for its discoveries. Feels good. I do feel overpowered on this planet. I know what you're saying. Like you've been struggling so much in this campaign, Zach. Now you feel overpowered? I do. Gone down with a bunch of equipment. Haven't really needed to use it. Gone down with a bunch of dice. Haven't really needed to use it all. This last time, I found a way to get supplies on the planet. I refreshed everybody's dice pool like every round, and I still ended the game with 5 supply. Pretty good, right? No one's getting exhausted. No one's running out of dice. I didn't even use half my equipment. We're going to land again to the vacant city. Okay, here's the situation. I'm going to have to land on this planet again, and I'm having a battle. I'm having a battle between myself and my better judgment. I have 1 command token. 1 command token. Because you get command tokens from your current objective. This current objective, it's giving me 1 command token. It seems to me, the tent of this game, a lot of it is being held up by the morale system. I think there's no other really resources to manage. There's no other ship systems that are mission critical. It's more important than anything else that the vibes of the ship are good. The only way I can lose this game is if morale drops to very low and then further, and it discards my last crew. There's no other way to lose. Yeah, so the morale system is carrying a lot of weight. I only have 1 command token. It seems to me that objectively the best course of action throughout this game is to spend a command token every turn to manage my situations, because the only way morale can change is by losing missions and by situations taking it away. So if I spend all of my actions every turn dealing with situations, I can never lose. And I only have 1 command token, so I'm sort of locked into always taking the situation phase action every management phase, which is kind of making the management of the ship a lot less interesting. I think it might be more interesting if there was, a couple different resource tracks that you had to sort of juggle, and different parts of the ship manage different tracks. Like I'd love to be setting up maintenance schedules, right? I'd love to have to run diagnostics on the sensor array or the reactor or whatever. But no, none of that. There's one mission critical system. It's the morale. Like imagine Apollo 13, right? Houston, we have a problem. We've mixed the tanks. And then the whole ship has exploded. And then Houston calls back. He's like, but how are the vibes? Oh, the vibes are good. No problem. You can still land on the moon then. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happened on the ship. Doesn't matter how many people die. Doesn't matter what systems explode. Doesn't matter if we run out of food or if everyone's blind. The morale just needs to be adequate. The campaign will continue, which is a little odd. I'm running into this other situation where I keep getting this card, this outbreak card, that's making everybody go blind. If I sent crew to deal with that situation, that card would be removed from the possible deck of possible situations. No one would ever go blind again. But if I remove that card, then I'm more likely to draw cards like claustrophobia or food shortage, which will lower morale. And the outbreak that's making my crew go blind is, in comparison, completely harmless. I want the outbreak card in the deck. I'm never gonna fix that problem. It's much better that it's in the deck. If I could infect my crew with 52 different diseases, if I give them black plague and leprosy and smallpox, right? If I could give everyone hay fever and whooping cough and fill my deck full of horrible diseases, just infect my whole crew, I would have a much better time of it because it would be harmless, right? I don't want to fix the outbreak, right? I want to fill the deck with as much horrible stuff as I possibly can to reduce the chances of morale going down, which is just peculiar, right? I just wish that the mechanic of managing the ship was a little bit more crunchy here. Anyway, I have one command token, and I should go to the situation room and I should manage my situation so that I don't fall into low morale, so I don't lose crew. But morale's not too bad right now. And I desperately just want to do anything else in the management phase. And my logic is telling me, just don't think about it. Stop playing the management game. Just always do the situation phase. Doesn't matter if you can't do any research. Doesn't matter if you can't produce anything. Doesn't matter if you can't hire anyone. Doesn't matter if you don't do anything else in the whole half of the game that's the management phase. Stop playing it. Just only do the situation phase. You won't lose. But the rest of me wants to do the other stuff that's fun in this situation or in the management phase. And I don't know, because right now, the only way I've ever gotten a brand new objective was through research. I'm not doing any research because I'm just always going to the situation room to manage situations. I think I could probably get a new objective by doing that, right? It doesn't look like I'm going to be making friends with the Endymions on this planet, right? I might be able to get new research projects by going to the production facility and producing stuff, right? Some of those things might give me new research projects, new items, new ways to travel around space, right? By avoiding everything other than the situation room, because that's logically the best way to run the ship, I might be locking myself out of continuing the campaign, which had happened before, right? In the first 4 planets, I committed everything to always going to the barracks and always going to the situation room because morale was low and I was going to lose the game otherwise. And that meant I didn't get the research that let me leave those first 4 systems. And I don't want to get stuck in that situation again. And so what do I do now? I've got 1 command token. But if I don't go to the situation room and I go down to this planet and things go bad, I don't know how far out of the pit I have climbed, but I've climbed out of a pit. Right? And the next objective I get might give me no command tokens, and that might screw me. So maybe I don't know. I'm going to do some production. Screw it. I'm going to the production facility. We're going to make some cool stuff. But I got so many discoveries. I'm going to go to the research department. I'm going to research some cool stuff, right? I've got the crew. I can probably bang out a bunch of research. I kind of want more crew. Maybe I'll go to the barracks. I'm not going to the situation room. Maybe it bites me, and I accept it. Some time has passed. We continue. And, yeah, I think not going to go to the Situation Room. We're going to go do something else. Cool. I don't think I've showed this off yet. We are in the production complex. Da 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 da. These are all of the productions that I could work on, but I'm not working on. I just slotted a couple of these in because I haven't been here in a very long time. Here's the thing. A lot of them require tech level 4, tech level 4, tech level 5. They need pretty high tech level to start production on them. I am still stuck at tech level 0. So I'm not in a position to start the production of any of these things. I've selected one item to slide into one of these slots. This is what I'm producing right now. Some of them require tech level 3 or 4 to put into these sleeves. And I did have them when I put them into these sleeves. And they've just been sitting here since, but I'm now at tech level 0. So I assume I can still complete the production on these, even though I'm no longer at the required tech level. All of these cards move one to the right when you activate the production phase, and you can accelerate that by sending your crew to go and help out. So that's what I'm going to do. This one requires shields and little science icons. Who will I send? She's the only one with any of these little science icons right here, so she's going to go and work on the ship's armament. Samus makes sense. And I need someone with shields. Willow Baker. So Willow Baker and Agata Andrada, they're going to produce me main ship armaments. I like that. Next I got section suits. I need biological symbols for that. I'm going to send Bridget, who's going to go do some nefarious things with biology to make me some new section suits. That's going to move over. I might as well send Jesse Bennett to go do that as well. Boom. Producing section suits. This one, Lander Facilities, requires computers and shields. Lon Pon's got computers. Young Quirky Zach's got shields. So that moves over. None of my other guys can help with this, so that's the end of that. Here's the situation. I've just purchased, or built. I've built the Vindicator cannon. My ship has a big gun on it. It says it can shoot a hole clean through a moon. So we've gone from being unarmed scientists to having a Death Star gun in about as many minutes as it takes to pop a Pop-Tart into a toaster. The Vindicator cannon was the first production in my queue, right? So when I came to the production facility, it popped out. It automatically got completed. Which means that I was one use of the production facility away from having the Vindicator cannon going into the space battle that I just experienced in the Dark Souls system. Which means, hey, maybe if I had the Vindicator cannon that can shoot a hole through a moon, I wouldn't have had to sacrifice all of those crew on that daring Death Star run in the Pelican. Maybe not. Maybe the Death Star cannon I have just received would have had no effect at all, but I feel like it would have. And if I wasn't struggling so much with morale, if I wasn't struggling so much with crew quitting and crew dying and crew being stuck in the hospital, I would have had the extra actions to come to the production facility and produce the Death Star cannon. And I'm looking back in time, and this is just sort of retroactive thinking. I could have, there was that planet, Atropos, right? The impossible landing that you can retreat from for free. I'm thinking the reason they don't tell you you can retreat for free is because I think the strategy is, if you were to play this game, you would beeline it to Brimstone, you would get a couple research projects, you'd get the Black Knight research, then you'd go to Atropos, and you would land 45 times in a row. Bam, 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 bam. You would retreat before the first dice roll every single time, no penalty. You'd produce every production project in the game, or that as far as you can. You'd research every project in the game as far as you can. You'd hire all 99 crew. And then when there's literally nothing else you can do to improve yourself, maybe you go and touch Matchstick. Maybe you go and touch Everstorm. Maybe you go and then you go and do the rest of the games. But I guess like completionist stats on a second run through, that's just what you would do, right? There's no mechanical reason you shouldn't do that. I think that's something I'm noticing playing this game in hard mode. As the game's going on, the ship management is becoming less and less interesting because there's really nothing to it, right? And looking back, like there is an early opportunity to skip the ship management for the rest of the game at the beginning of the game. I wish there was more. I wish there was more. Another note, I made spacesuits. Wonderful spacesuits. Hazmat suit. The spacesuits are very underwhelming to me so far. All the spacesuits I have, not super exciting. This guy's spacesuit, reroll a danger dice in exchange for 2 dice. I mean, maybe if you were going to die, for sure, you might want to have that card. But if you were going to die for sure, you're probably in a situation where you're very tight on dice. And if you're tight on dice, you can't pay the 2 dice to do this without maybe even getting hurt or accelerating the speed with which you're going to burn through your dice, which is going to make you take exhausted wounds in the end anyway. Not very interesting hazmat suit. Heavy suit, kind of cool. It prevents critically injured and wounded things to a security officer. I mean, that's potentially cool if I know I'm going to go into a fight, but so much of the time, it's not wounds, it's not critical wounds that are actually doing any particular damage to me. It's just, it's the kind of things that happen from exploring planets. But I'm wondering, I've got a heavy suit now. My ship has a cannon on it. We've had one boarding action. Is this game going to become a lot more combat focused? I kind of hope it doesn't, but maybe it does, and maybe that's going to be useful. That's the only suit so far that looks kind of useful. Sensor suit, I mean, it looks cool. Is it useful? I don't think so. It lets you get more leads, and leads give you discoveries, and discoveries you use to pay for research. I've never been on a planet where I wanted to do discoveries, or I've had the ability to go and get leads and not been able to just fill my ship, right? The only situations where I haven't been able to get discoveries, even though I'm missing tokens, and even though I'm using the hard rules, the only planets I haven't been able to get discoveries on are planets I've already looted completely and exhausted all the cards that would have given me discoveries. So this sensor suit that makes it easier to get discoveries, not particularly interesting. And then this one's super cool. It's a still suit, and it's obviously inspired by Dune. Its ability is trash. So, mixed bag in this production phase. My ship's got a gun, too late, and my crew have new suits that are lackluster. I'm in the hangar. I'm in a situation. I could repair this Pelican lander right now. I'm never going to repair this Pelican. This Pelican remains destroyed forever. We lost it in the heroic defense action with the cruiser. We tried to take it down to 2 planets. It never proved itself worth its own existence. The Pelican shall become mothballed. Maybe I'll make a little model of it in my captain's quarters and put it on the wall and throw darts at it. The cursed ship Pelican shall never fly again. Okay, we're back on the pink planet of the holy squid lion people. I've only brought Zach Highschool and Zach Spooky. I used everybody else to do production actions, but I'm not too worried. I've already done this ocean exploration. I've already explored the plains. It's just these 2 spots left on the board I need to go to. So 2 people should be able to do it. And this is our last thing on this planet. There are no more unique discoveries, because I did end up, I forget which one of these, I did end up sneaking into this alien spaceship and stealing everything from inside of it. But nothing bad happened to me. The alien's just going to continue on its little pilgrimage. There's nothing of interest down here. The ocean, I mean, I should put a fish card here, but I'm never going to go back into the ocean. I mean, I might go back here for I mean, I didn't bring anyone other than Zach's, and there are some Profitera that need tickling, so, but we'll worry about that later. We'll worry about that later, but we have to explore this city. I mean, you know, when you're just all by yourself on an alien planet, and the Profitera want to be tickled anyway, there's no reason to feel ashamed. No one's watching but yourself. and a clone of yourself. You know what, these religious aliens, they're not going to take offense if I just go back there to tickle some Porphyra and leave. Right? Maybe they're into it. This is a squid lion person. They haven't gotten angry yet. I'm going to go tickle some Porphyra. After, we have to explore the city first. After, though, if we have any actions left, I might just pop over there. Mostly for I can get some cool discoveries down there, but, I mean, we both know it's to tickle the Porphyra. Here I am. We've gotten into the city. We found an old man who's making masks, and we offered to help him build the masks. I've just set up an encampment here because I don't know how long this is going to take. It gave me the option for me to show them a unique discovery number 13, which I have already collected. And unique discovery number 13 is a mask. I don't remember where I got it. I either got it in the bottom of the ocean, or I got it along this pilgrim's path, maybe from this altar that I ransacked and now has nothing interesting in it. Or maybe I got it from the alien spaceship, which I looted. I don't remember where I got the mask. I don't want to show him that I have the mask, because I might have stolen it or taken it from a grave. So instead, I'm just going to help him make a mask. This might be a mistake, but that's what I'm going to do. Update. So I only have my engineer and my scientist. That was working out pretty well when going into the city meant making a mask with this mask maker. I made the mask, no problem. Now I'm walking through an abandoned city where every building is intentionally designed to look like every other building, and all the streets are intentionally designed to look like every other street. These aliens are obsessed with mirrors and mazes, and their capital city is a mirrored maze. Here's the problem. I have an engineer and I have a scientist. Getting through this maze requires exploration icons. No one has exploration icons. The only character who has exploration icons, as I have built them, is my recon guy. So, I'm lost in the city, and I can't find my way out, and I'm lost. And I'm running out of dice. And that wouldn't be an issue, because there's nothing trying to fight me, there's nothing trying to kill me, I haven't anchored the Endymions, everything's just cool and kosher. Here's the thing, this planet has 2 suns. When the suns are out, it's really tough to be outside. When both suns are gone, it's freezing outside, and when only one sun is up, it's lovely out. I've been lost in this city for so long that the suns keep setting, and I keep getting stuck at night, and I'm using all my dice to try to roll exploration icons because I don't have any. So I'm fishing for wilds on my dice. But when it's nighttime and you don't have enough dice in your pool, it freezes you. And my high school Zach is almost frozen to death, and spooky Zach is almost frozen to death, and they're wandering around a city. I might lose this. I might lose them both. Because I think I could run. I think I could get out of this city. I think I could get off this planet. If that happened, that would count as a failed mission. Morale would drop, and I don't want it to drop. Desperately don't want it to drop. If I push on, and they both freeze to death, that will count as a loss as well, though. So I can't just accept that fate. And here's the thing, I didn't go to the situation room. So I've got 2 situations that are going to hurt morale. I can't lose this mission no matter what. I think I'll be fine. I think I can tank it. I think I have enough morale. I'm at medium morale now. So I'm not at low morale. I'm not very low morale. I can lose a bunch of morale, but I don't want to put myself in a position like that. So retreating really shouldn't be an option, especially at this point. But I'm lost in a city and my guys are freezing to death. And it's not just my guys, it's clones of myself. Like I'm putting myself in their shoes, right? Their boss, who is themselves but older and wiser, has sent them down to a planet. Nothing bad has ever happened on this planet. Well, there are some fish, but they like to tickle fish. And this could be just a wonderful vacation spot. But they go down here, and unlike every other crew, they're freezing to death in a city lost, and that didn't happen to anyone else, right? I managed to, because last time I was here, I was exploring the deserts, and Miss Lady Turnip lady was refilling my supplies like wild, and that was keeping all my dice pools flush, and I had all the tokens. This is what happens when you go down with 2 people instead of 4. All of us, like when you have 4 people, everything's doable because you have every single dice you could possibly dream of. I have 2 people, so I'm missing half the dice, right? We just explore. We explore further. Still lost. Everyone's frozen again. We'll update further. I thought I had the sequence. I don't have the sequence. I got to what I thought was the end of the mirrored maze, and no, it just sent me back to the beginning again. I got a cool lore thing. The Endymions are a completely decentralized species. Lots of cool information. Yeah, discovery. I got a scientist. He's going bonkers. Spooky Zach, the scientist, is going bonkers. He's like, yeah, we learned all about the lions. Don't you know you're freezing to death, Spooky Zach? And now it's double noon. So I'm not particularly worried about freezing to death, but double noon means I'm gonna get exhausted, or I gotta roll a C. Anyway, I've got 1 supply left. I could try one more time. I could try one more time to get through this mirrored maze. With a game like this, like here's the situation. The mirrored maze, there's a bunch of cards. You choose different options on the cards, and it tells you to place other cards. One of the ways you could solve this problem is I could look at all the cards that it has so far let me draw and put in this space. And then I could cross-reference all the different cards that each of those cards let me travel to and work out where the perfect move is through all of them. I've been playing honorably. This is a solo single-player game. This is a co-op game if you're playing with multiple people. Cheating is so easy, and you have to not cheat to make the game worth its own time. I haven't been cheating, right? It tells me to put a card, I put that card. It tells me to put a different card, I take the card that was on the board and I put it back in the box. I'm not cross-referencing all the data on the cards I have. I could do that. I could just do that right now. See through this puzzle, skip the entire thing, and get to the middle of the maze. Not gonna do it. I'm gonna solve this intelligently. So I know that going left and straight, bad idea. I know going straight and left, bad idea. I know I haven't gone right yet, but I know going straight and straight, bad idea. I know going left and left, bad idea. I know going left and right is a bad idea. So I got to go right and then left, or right and then right, or right and then straight. And I hope that there isn't another layer onto this, because if I have to go like right, straight, right, left, straight, right, I'm doomed, because I've only gotten 2 cards deep in every direction. So I don't know how exponential this mirrored maze is. We're gonna go. Zach and Zach, they're gonna push forward. Discovery awaits. High School Zach has just died. He's frozen and exhausted and exhausted and exhausted. He cooked to death. He cooked to death in the double noon. I have to run. I have to leave. I have to leave. I have to leave, or Spooky Zach's gonna die too. And I am not going to run. Spooky Zach is spooky because he's determined, and Spooky Zach is spooky because people don't understand him. And now that he's all alone, there's certainly no one who can understand what he's feeling right now. And Spooky Zach's got to find the way in the middle of this city in honor of High School Zach. Victory to Spooky Zach. I wish him. We're gonna go. It wasn't right. Going right sent me right back to the beginning again. So it's got to be left. It's got to be left and something that I haven't thought of. I've forgotten. I've forgotten. It's got to be left, because it's not straight. Straight is a doom. I thought it was going to be right and something, but no, going right at all just sends you right back to the beginning. It's got to be left and something. I thought I went left everywhere and everywhere else. Oh man, here's the thing. Here's the beginning of the maze. This card. I don't have any exploration icons, so I've never been able to get this super option at the top. I just keep having to trigger the bottom option by rolling a blue, a green, a red, which is so many dice. Every single time I got to start this maze over again, a blue, a green, and a red. If the only way to get to the middle of this maze is to roll the super option at the top, then I've been freezing myself to death and exhausting myself and cooking myself in the double noon for no reason. We continue. Here's the situation. Okay. He's freezing, and he's freezing. Spooky Zach has all of his dice in his spent pool. He's got 2 wound dice in his unspent pool. It is currently twilight. Not exhaust him, sorry. I could exert him to get 5 dice back. I would lose 1 dice, it would burn it. And here's the thing. All these cards look the same, I don't mind showing them to you. This is the mirrored township. I know it's not forward. I know it's not right. It's gotta be left. It's gotta be left and then a direction, and I don't remember what that direction is. I could take the risk and go for it and hope that he survives. But double nighttime is coming, with a time when both of the suns are out of the sky. That comes after twilight. And then he might freeze again. I can't use too many of his dice, because if you don't have enough dice in this pool, when double nighttime shows up, you get frozen. I could instead exert him right now and then try to run. I could run. If I run, I fail this mission, and High School Zach died for nothing. It was the wrong way. It was the wrong way. I'm back at the start again. But now I know for sure. It's left and then left. To run or not to run. Now I know the way. I know the way now. As long as there's not another card. If there's another card, I'm totally screwed. But now I know the way. Left and then right. We're finding the middle of the city, right? I'm going to find it. All these goddamn spots look the same. I went left and then right, and now I'm in this mirrored township, which is the same card. But it's different slightly. I don't recognize these spots. So it is further, it's deeper. It's not just two legs deep. Where the heck do I go? All right, do I go left or right or left or forward? There's a log. If I go right, is this a trap log? Here's the thing. It could be a trap log, right? I might go to this log and be like, you're lost again. Go back to the beginning. Or the log might be the ending of this maze. Why is it giving me a log? Damn it. Where do I go? Forward, left, or right? Look, I went forward and then I went left and then I went right. Do I go forward again? I could go right. But like if I was in a maze, let's draw a grid. 1 second. All right, start here, right? If I went left and then right, then I'm here, right? And I know forward from here is not the way. That's not it. And I know right from here somehow takes us back here. So that's not it. So if I could go, I can go forward from here. I can go right from here, which is, I know it's not it. I could go left from here. So really it's forward or left. What are my options here? It's forward or left. And right is a log, probably because it sends us right back to this spot. Unless the other thing this could be is these cards there might not actually be a map of the city, right? That makes logical geometric sense. And we might not be moving equal amounts of distance every time we take a right and left turn, right? These might be representing a city using guess which direction mechanics. Or there might actually be a layout of the city that we're supposed to be trying to remember and figuring out. This might be meaningless. Should I go to this log? All right, if this map, this is the Lost Forest from Zelda or Ocarina of Time. You just have to pick the right route through the grid, and every other route just sends you back to the beginning. Regardless of it doesn't make this is a non-Euclidean geometry. I'm going to assume that going right is a trap. We're not going to read this log. I'm going to assume we just went left and then right. Do we go left or we go forward? Right? I mean, we kind of have to imagine, because we started we entered there's sort of a city wall here. Right? And we came in and there was a card. I forget what that option the card is, but that feeds us into this maze by going forward. So we go forward into this part of the maze. Then I've gone left, and then right. And if this wall that we entered in is parallel to the center of the city, which I'm assuming is here, then forward has to be the answer. Unless it makes no geometric sense at all, and left takes us there. And I'm also assuming here that these are all straight roads, right? When I went left, it might have been like a squiggly road. And we've only just come to an intersection. But it might be doing this, right? This might be the intersection we've come to, right? I've gone left. And it's from here I've gone left. And then it's gone in a big squiggly, not straight line. And I've arrived here. And my question is, do I go forward, left, or right? All right, I'm going to assume that this diagram is correct. Otherwise, I have to throw all logic away forever for the rest of this game. I'm going to go forwards. I'm going to go forwards and hope that takes us to the middle of the city. Well, where do I go? I get card 277. We'll discover it together, good boys. What the heck is this? This is not the city, right? This is the right card? P277, yes. Silent cabal, a sea of humming motionless Endymions is deeply disturbing. Okay, well, we found something. Is this the middle of the city? It doesn't say it's the middle of the city. It looks like a field. Why am I in a field and not a city? Is this the right card? 277. 277. I have to do stuff here? Shit. Okay. I have to, I guess, observe this silent cabal. It is now deepest night. With both suns down, the temperatures plummet. All life clings to safety and warmth of shelters. Each crew member who starts their turn with 2 or fewer available dice rolls an E danger. Spooky Zach has only 2 available dice. He has 2 freezing injuries. His turn is starting now, so he has to roll a danger. Let's find out what that means. I don't know what that means. It's an E danger. Gain a freezing injury. Okay, now he's double injured. Triple injured. He's triple injured. God damn. What the heck? I should have run. I should have run. I should have run. Why am I watching these people in the middle of a field, in the middle of a city, in the middle of a mirror, in the middle of mad alien mad zone? Flipping frozen again. He's just freezing. Oh, God damn it. I have 2 actions. Can I finish this log with 2 actions? Let's get a cube. No cube is on it yet. No cube is on that track yet, which I imagine is bad. I don't know if I have the dice for this, because I still have to escape. What do I do? We have to do this. Do we have to do this? I could run. If I run, then High School Zach died for nothing. If I run, I lose morale. If I run, Spooky Zach does get to live another day. I'm going to have to roll a bunch of dice anyway to get out. I'm going to have to exhaust myself to get out. And I better exhaust myself now, because the next global condition card that comes out is not going to be deepest night. It's going to be double noon. And if it's double noon, he'll get exhausted just for existing. I figured I'm just going to try. I exerted myself, sacrificed a die, rolled all my dice. Got 3 successes. Exhausted myself, exerted myself again, burned another dice, rolled 2 dice, finished this Research the Cabal card. I'm going to listen to this log. I'm going to get a success. And then I'm going to try to crawl out of this planet. I've killed myself. I just realized, because it only just started to be Deepest Night, and now it's going to be Deepest Night again, and I only have 1 dice left. I should have left 1 more dice in my pool, or I'm going to get frozen again. First things first, to the log. The humming circles of Endymions, turns out that's their government. It's a direct democracy, this species, this planet. Did it immediately let me lift off and save Spooky Zach's life? No, we have to get out. But I've just realized there is hope. Spooky Zach's ability is recklessness. He gets to spend his little ability tokens to move and ignore damage and stuff like that. So I can get out on my turn. Here's the problem. I'm going to have to roll, because it's still nighttime. I'm going to have to roll a danger dice to see if he freezes to death first. So, my turn is about to start. I've only got one character, so he just keeps going over and over again. His turn's about to start. I'm going to roll a danger dice. If it freezes him, he dies. If it doesn't, I can spend all of my charges to get to the escape pod and get off this planet. Let's go. Holy crap. Okay. I got off the planet. The Endymions like me. Why? I guess they were watching me get lost in their city, and then when I went back to the lander, there was an Endymion waiting there being like, you seem okay. I'm going to come and hang with you. And I was like, oh, cool. You come onto my ship. And then it's a standard liftoff procedure. I took off from the planet. Tons of logs started unlocking. I had to listen to a ton of them. Basically, I have a choice. It feels like a very big choice. The Vanguard wasn't built to go to a bunch of different planets. It was built to go to one. To follow the star map in our blood. We've gone to what we thought was the end of that star map, and there was nothing there. Then we went to the Steely Cluster and got jumped. The game has given us an option. We can either establish military outposts on every planet that we go to in order to continually resupply the Vanguard, or we open up diplomatic relations with everybody we meet along our path to resupply the Vanguard. Which do I take? Poor high school Zach. He was only in high school when I cloned him. He came to this planet and died. What did he die doing? Exploring a fully populated planet, walking around in the city streets. What happened to him, right? He got exhausted. I came to this planet peacefully. I respected these aliens, these squid lions. I respected them. And when I was walking around in their city and they watched me freeze to death and burn to death and collapse on the ground and die of exhaustion, they watched Spooky Zach almost freeze to death 3 times. They did nothing. They didn't lift a finger. They didn't lift a finger. They didn't spare a thought. We came here just looking for food, and they wouldn't even give us anything. They wouldn't even trade for it. Did I show you too much respect? Do I go militaristic instead? I feel like the diplomatic path is more in line with the high-minded scientific goals that I'm thinking about. But now I'm thinking about all of the crew on this ship and how so many of them are criminals and military people. I have a security officer who looks like Samus, who wants vengeance. I have corrupt politicians. This is interesting. There's also this interesting thing going on. I'll use Terry Isaac as an example. Your crew can become veterans, right? And when they become veterans, their card changes, they get more powerful. Something I've noticed so far, I've only got 2 veterans, but something I've noticed so far is whenever they become veteran, they get all cyborged up. And I don't know what the game is trying to say by that yet, right? If this was Star Wars, there's a constant thing in Star Wars. You get cyborged up, that means you've lost your humanity, therefore you've become evil. The toilet paper bounty hunter from Star Wars was like a drag racer who burst into flames and got replaced by a bunch of cybernetic materials. He's lost his emotions because of it. Lobot from Cloud City, he's the character with the big computer stuck to the back of his head. Lobot after a lobotomy. Star Wars naming conventions, right? But anyway, right, he's got the big computer stuck to his head that's giving him supercomputing mentat powers, and it has sucked away his personality. There's a great comic book series where Lando and Lobot are running around, and the computer in Lobot's head is slowly consuming his humanity. But this is a thing in Star Wars. Is that what this game is leaning towards, right? As my crew become veterans, are they becoming more monstrous? And right? Or is this more the intent more of a Malcolm Gladwell thing? Right? The medium is the message. The car is a way that humanity has used technology to extend the reach of their legs. The radio is what the humanity is using technology to extend the range of our hearing, right? Television is humanity expanding the range of our imagination using technology, right? Is the metaphor of my crew all getting cybered up them expanding their humanity outside of themselves, right? Or is it the Star Wars paradigm where they are reducing their humanity? I don't know how to read it yet. And I've been given this choice by the game. Military conquest of the galaxy. That can be fun. Diplomatic conquest of the galaxy. Also can be fun. As we go through this game and my crew become veterans and I level up and I get more stuff, am I going to become more human or less human? And is it more human to go out and conquer, or is it less human to go out and conquer? Right? These are tasty little thematic twists on this game. I don't know how to interpret them. I like how the game has been ambiguous so far. I'm curious, because right now I have two veterans. I've got Terry Isaac, who has kind of become a Cyberman, right? From, if you know Doctor Who, he's got the Cyberman eyes, right? He looks kind of like that old evil guy who invents the Cybermen. If you don't know, in Doctor Who, the Cybermen are this person who hates emotions and thinks they're a human weakness. Invents the Cybermen, which is basically a way to suck the brain out of a person and put it into a robot body where they feel nothing. But secretly, they don't feel nothing. They're in perpetual agony. The robot body just incapable of expressing that they are. But anyway, he looks like the guy who invented the Cybermen, and his back says he's sort of like a duplicitous politician. She is leveled up, and she doesn't, right? There's no obvious cybernetic stuff going on. There is some definite circuitry like plugged into her head and stuff like that, but nothing super obvious. It's more of a styling change. And these are my only two veterans. Two different visions of how this game could go, violence or diplomacy. Two different ways of interpreting all this cybernetic stuff that's going on in this game. Losing humanity, gaining humanity. We have become the inventor of the Cybermen, just become cooler. Violence or diplomacy. I just built a big gun and strapped it to the Vanguard. I don't know. We're going to go into theory moment again. All of the lore, this Endymion planet has been very lore heavy. I think it's changed some of my predictions. I no longer think that there are the builders and the breakers. I think the breakers, the game has never told me about breakers. I've just sort of like hypothesized their existence. I don't think they exist. Now I think there's only the builders. And I think the doomsday devices placed on these planets aren't doomsday devices. The builders are like crazy mad scientists who are designing cultures, either to fit to purpose or just as twisted experiments. They're growing cultures. And just like a scientist growing cultures in a petri dish, like cultures of bacteria, when the builders are done with their experiment, they destroy the petri dish. That's what I think the doomsday devices are. The builders are blowing up their own planets after they have achieved the goals that they either want to achieve with their experiments, or they have found out that their experiment has been a failure, right? They're eliminating their petri dishes, right? These guys are the monsters. That does not erase my theory that humans were the breakers. Now that the breakers I don't think exist anymore, I'm going to say I think the humans are the builders, right? Right, we're going to get to the end of the game and we're going to find mad scientists as our like progenitors and our like ancestors, right? We're going to have to grapple with that. And here I have the choice. Military conquest of the galaxy, diplomatic conquest of the galaxy, right? If I go diplomatic scientific base and I get to the end of the game, am I going to be fictionally positioned in alliance with the builders who are doing this horrifying genetic, scientific, diplomatic research that is twisted and evil? If I go military instead, does that put me in alliance with the builders who are destroying planets wholesale with doomsday devices, right? Which one of these options puts me in opposition to the builders? And maybe neither of them do, right? Which is also interesting. Lots of cool thematic things going on here. I don't know where this game is going. I didn't expect this kind of choice. I am reminded of... I was a big Trekkie growing up. I'm reminded there was a very bad series of episodes in Voyager. Voyager's all right, but it was hit or miss. It was hit or miss, that show. But there was this, I think it's a 3-parter in Voyager, where Chakotay, oh my God, Chakotay. Once upon a time, there was a show named Voyager. They had this character who was this first officer named Chakotay. And it was kind of an interesting character who was a Native American. The actor wasn't Native American, and the writers of the show hired a Native American advisor to help them write the scripts and to talk about, Native American culture and try to make, that interesting, right? And they were really, really leaning into the the sort of the anachronism of like Native American belief systems juxtaposed against crazy science fiction future technology. The consultant, the Native American consultant that was helping them write it, was a fraud. Didn't know anything about it, pretended to be a consultant, lied to the writers wildly. So Chakotay does some crazy stuff in Voyager that is not correct. He says a lot of things about Native American culture. Anyway, and so there's a certain point in the show where Chakotay just sort of stops being a main character because they realize that they've done horrible things with him and they don't know what to do and they can't write him off the show, and he's got a contract for as long as the show goes. So he's just sort of there. Anyway, there's a series of episodes, like a 3-parter, that's focused on Chakotay, where there's this alien species that's developed a weapon. And that weapon can erase something from time, right? You shoot it at a rock, that rock never existed, right? If that rock ever did anything in that rock's past, that thing never happened because that rock was never there. It was never part of an avalanche. If that rock was an asteroid that brought life to a planet, that life never arrived because that rock never existed. Crazy science fiction super weapon. And what happens is the crazy alien commander of this time ship manages to defeat, because his species is at war with another species, and they're going to win that war by erasing the right planet or moon or rock or person to make it so that war never happened. And they succeed. He goes and he erases, I forget what he erased. He erased a city or a planet or something. And the war that was devastating his people never happened. But as a consequence of doing that, he also made it so that his wife died tragically. And he was like, okay, he's not going to stop at stopping the war. He's going to keep erasing things until he figures out a way to both end the war and bring his wife back to life. And so he's this crazy alien captain flying around the galaxy, erasing planets, erasing people, erasing ships. And like half the time he's just erasing stuff to see what will happen. Right? And it's bonkers. And he's doing this insane, horrible thing in order to try to reclaim something that he has lost. If I am right, and humanity are descendants, like direct descendants, we have the genetic profile of the builders, right? Where they're literally their children. Like, here's what I think is going on. I think that, you see how we're getting all cybered up as we go through our adventure? We're changing what it means to be human as we go through our adventure deeper into the galaxy. I think this has happened for thousands and thousands, millions of years maybe, for the builders, right? They keep changing themselves, incorporating technology into themselves, and maybe they feel like they have lost who they truly are. I think this giant experiment that they're conducting that spawns across the galaxy, I think that they're reseeding their own genetic code on all these planets and hoping to tweak the conditions to recreate themselves as they used to be before they got whatever version to cybered up they are in the future, right? And I think thematically what's going on is humanity, is the Vanguard
in pursuit of the builders, is the Vanguard going to change themselves into a version of humanity that is identical or close to what the builders have changed themselves into and stop recognizing themselves? Or are we going to maintain our humanity? And when we get to the end of this story, the builders are going to recognize this version of humanity as like the untainted version? I don't know. But right now it feels like the builders are a crazy captain with a time ship, right? Only instead of a time ship, they're doing genetic experiments. And it feels like we're either the dead wife that they are trying to bring back to life, or we're the war they're trying to stop. And I don't know which. Does that make any sense? I hope that makes sense. Does this whole digression help me decide war or peace? No, it does not. On the one side, I said I would find the Arrogator homeworld and I would teach them a lesson for all the horrible things they did to me. This sounds like war. On the other hand, I've been justifying everything I've been doing by saying it's a scientific quest for discovery. These are incompatible, and I have to make a choice now. Who will lead us into the new age? The Cybermen? Or the coolest goddamn lady on the planet? Who will lead us? The warmonger or the peacemaker? And like, it's not like the war option is that I'm going to go and fight everybody. It's just that I'm going to make sure that that I have an outpost everywhere, and I'm going to force that outpost to be there if that's some colonial bullshit. It might be easier. And it doesn't mean, if I go military, it doesn't mean necessarily I don't get to hang out with aliens. It just means those aliens are going to have to accept me as their ruler. That doesn't feel good. This is a situation again, right? I keep coming into this situation in this game where I don't know the full implications of what am I being asked. I'm lacking context, and I'm having to build that context with theories and guesses and anecdotes and talking out loud to you. I think the thing most supported by the mechanics I've seen, by the fact I have an engineer and a scientist, and recon and security, and not warrior, fighter, commander, trooper. The fact that so much of this game is about finding discoveries, I think probably the best there's probably going to be the best mechanical support for the diplomatic option. And this isn't a fighting game, right? The fighting just boils down to like lots of dice checks that use fists and shields. That's not super interesting, right? If this game has showed off some like anything that would interact with being a military person. But here's the thing, I want to go and blow up the Arrogators, right? Vengeance, vengeance, vengeance. A path of blood through the stars until we get revenge for the heroic crew of the Pelican. But I don't want to be locked out from seeking that irrational vengeance or being dissuaded from that irrational vengeance just because I chose the diplomatic option, right? I don't want to be forced to make friends with the Arrogators if I still want to blow them up later. And if I take the diplomatic option, if I want to make peace with the entire galaxy but blow up the Arrogators, can I do that? Right? Or do I need to go to war with the entire galaxy just so I can blow up the Arrogators? I want to blow up the Arrogators. It's 5 of one, half dozen of the other. I don't know how to make this choice. This choice is impossible. I have no opinion to ask other than myself. And I'm just thinking of all the characters. Look at how many people have died. I mean, let's look at the other moral choices I've chosen. I chose to stick crowbars into the brain of that Arrogator. I sent the Pelican on a fiery kamikaze mission to blow up a cruiser. I left my own crew to die alone in the hallway so that I could save the ship. I tried to force a landing 3 times onto Atropos, and it exploded once and killed all my most altruistic astronauts. I kept landing people and feeding them to the meat grinder of Matchstick. I robbed the termites in Everstorm and died for it. At the beginning of this game, you go to this like big Dyson sphere and it gives you an option. Blow up the cannon on the Dyson sphere or try to sneak past it and disable it. I blew it up. Do I go military? So here's the other thing is, when you're talking about a role-playing game, there is a temptation, especially you see it in computer role-playing games all the time,
there's a temptation, the right option, right? The morally good option is always the best mechanically, right? You want the most success in Mass Effect, you play good guy Shepard, right? You play bad guy Shepard, you can do some cool things. Renegade Shepard, you can do some cool things, but you don't get the best results at the end of the day, right? You want to win the game and you want to do the best possible. You want to get the best score. You've got to play good. It's the same with, you play like Baldur's Gate or anything, right? You stumble through the game, and whenever it gives you a moral option, it's kind of not really an option, because the best option is always to be a good person, right? You get the most rewards and things like that. When you're playing tabletop role-playing games, it's often the opposite, right? And in real life, it's also the opposite. Doing the morally correct, good thing is often much, much, much harder, right? And you do the morally good thing, the correct thing, the thing you save the homeless person on the street, you save your enemy, you pity Gollum and let him live. Often it doesn't pay off for you in the end, right? You don't get a reward for being a good person. You get a reward often for being a dick. You get rewarded for doing not the right thing, right? And you see that sometimes in games, right? You do the morally correct option, and people expect to get the best result, and they don't get the best result. And they're like, well, what was the point in taking the morally correct action? They think there's a problem with the balance of the game, or the writers were doing a bad job. No, that's good, right? The morally correct option should be the hard option, right? It should have less rewards. You're giving up more to do what is right. And the reward is that it was right, not that it gets you more experience, not that it gets you the best gear, not that it gets you the best ending to the game. Which situation am I in with this game, right? If I take the morally correct situation, diplomacy, does that mean I get the best rewards? Do I get the easiest path through this game? I kind of hope I don't, right? I'd like to take diplomacy and have it be really hard, have it be full of struggle. Taking the military option, is that going to be easy, right? Am I going to get more for it? I imagine I could get more for it, right? Roll into a planet, take everything I need instead of asking and get some of what I need. And I guess there's the third option. Both options give me the same stuff, which means that this choice is just for flavor, and I don't like a choice for flavor. Am I overanalyzing this? I think I'm overanalyzing this. Woof. All right, so much happened. There's a secret envelope in this game, and all of us, I picked diplomatic relations, and I immediately regret it. Not because of anything I've seen, it's just, I think I prefer going military, but I picked it. Yeah. Anyway, there's a secret envelope in this game. I picked diplomatic. It told me to get the secret envelope. I forgot there was a secret envelope. I had to run upstairs. I had to look in my closet because I hid it because I didn't want to accidentally look inside of it. Anyway, I found it, brought it down, opened it up, grabbed the stuff out of it I need to grab. There's new pages in the shipbook. Maybe management of the shipbook is going to get more interesting. Maybe it won't. I don't know. It gave me back my reinforced hull. So now I have an embassy on my ship, so I can do diplomatic relations with people. The high school Zach is dead, so he's gone forever. I've got some new dice that I can buy in the dice buying phase. All in all, pretty all right. I do think I would have preferred to go. I do think I would prefer to go military now. I mean, I want to go fight the arrogators. I don't care about anyone else. Like, I don't need to fight anyone else in the entire galaxy. I just want to go and fight the arrogators. I want to walk down the middle path, right? When I played Mass Effect, I didn't play Renegade, and I didn't play Blue, whatever the good option was. I walked right down the middle, because I think some of the moral choices in that game, Renegade's the best answer. And some of them, Paragon is the best answer, right? You don't just pick one. You play the game bipolar, and you try to pick the best option for the moral dilemma you're in. It makes Mass Effect a very strange, inconsistent game. But that's how I play stuff. I don't want to either be embassy or military. I want to be no embassy for anyone, but military for the people I don't like. Yeah, anyway, so that's that. I'm just going to clean up this game. I think this will probably be the end of the video. Do the entire Endymion Cabal as one diary entry. I really want to just go back and swap it to the military, put the military stuff in instead of the embassy stuff. I don't know how that's going to screw up my app, right? I don't know if there's a way to undo what I've done so far in the app. Tell it that I want to go military instead of embassy. I mean, I could just swap the components but it might give me completely different logs. This is the danger of using the app instead of the book. Maybe I switch to the book. Maybe I just switch to the book. Wait. I forgot I was just doing the cleanup step. Spooky Zach got out, but he had 3 wounds, 3 freezing wounds. He made peace with the aliens, and I just rolled his wound dice. Critical blood drop on blood drop means he's dead. He dies on the operating table on the surgery counter. He shows up frostbitten, his toes black, his nose falling off, his ears dead to pain. His heart stops beating on the... This getting dark, but man, Zach and Zach both died. Both my clones. If it weren't for these 2, I would have died. I would have lost this entire game. I would have lost this entire game before even landing on the Endymion Cabal, and they both died because these people didn't want to lift a finger. I really wish I picked military option now.